Yeah, tough to go into a locker room with such a great team who played their hearts out and not be able to celebrate a victory. But our guys played hard. Certainly feeling a range of emotions right now. Proud, sad, and certainly angry. But again, I thought our guys left it all on the field. We played hard, we played bold, but certainly were a lot of plays in that game that didn't go our way, and very hard to swallow right now, and going to have to really take a look at the film and figure out, what really happened on some of those plays. Because in a game like this, where the margin for error is so tiny, one play can alter the game, and it didn't seem like we got any of those plays. And anyways, we'll take your questions from here.
If you would, please raise your hand so we can get a microphone to you. We'll start here on the left, third row.
Ryan, as a follow-up to that, there are a couple of officiating calls that went against you guys. Controversial. What are your early thoughts on those?
Again, it's too close right now, and I'm probably too emotional to really talk about those. But you'll have to look at the film and see what that was. But I know that there were some plays that were called on the field and then overturned. And when they overturn it, there has to be undisputable evidence. And if that's what they deemed it was, it's going to be something we'll have to take a look at. But the thing about those plays were certainly the catch that was returned for a touchdown was such a huge play in the game. The play with Sean Wade, that was a fourth down play. That was such a huge play in the game. The J.K. Dobbins catch those were major plays, and they didn't go our way. So not crying about it, but at the same time, those were big plays that didn't go our way, and certainly, again, a range of emotions about that.
Center left here, third row.
Yeah, Ryan, on the what turned out to be y'all's last offensive play, what were y'all looking for there? Was it similar to what you guys had hit with Chris Olave earlier in the game for the touchdown? And obviously he fell down trying to cut back to the outside, but what were you looking for there?
Yeah, Chris played a great game, and he's very upset in the locker room right now. He thought that Justin was scrambling. He was running a post route right there, and actually we had exactly the call on that we wanted. And he felt like Justin was in a scramble mode, because Justin does a lot of creating. And so they weren't on the same page, and they're playing football and they're competing, and things like that happen. And unfortunately, that happened to us in the last play of the game when we needed it the most. But Chris Olave is an unbelievable competitor. He loves his teammates, and nobody feels worse than Chris right now. And so that's when you play games like this, you put yourself out there, and that's what happened at the end of the game. But our guys were competing all the way down to the end.
First row on the left.
Ryan, I'm not really talking about the call specifically, but just the emotion when you have things like that feel like they're out of your control in a game like this that is so close. Obviously, you guys are frustrated and disappointed, but is this just a little bit of a different feeling when that is part of it as well, that kind of thing is factored into how you're dealing with this loss?
Yeah, again, I think that it's a range of emotions, because even though those things were happening, we were overcoming it. We just kept fighting and we kept playing, and it was like, don't worry about those, just keep playing. But I think when we look back on it, it's just going to be overwhelming how those game-altering plays that happen in a game, you need those things to go beat a team like Clemson when you're playing in a semifinal game. You need, that one or two plays to miss a couple of them, then that hurt you. And again, a range of emotions, but we'll rest on it, watch the film, and kind of go from there.
Towards the back here on the left.
Hey, Coach Day, losing some momentum there right before halftime, 16-14. What was the message to your guys there at halftime in the locker room?
Well, again, like you said, we had all the momentum, and then when we got the sack, and then the penalty was called on Sean, the momentum kind of swung right there, and we thought we really were doing a great job on defense. We had almost 300 yards of offense, so we got in the locker room, and we thought we had played really well. The draw that Lawrence hit, and then that drive that got extended because of the targeting call on Sean Wade. Other than those plays, we thought we kind of dominated the first half. The one thing on offense, we didn't score touchdowns when we got in the red zone in the first half. We're looking there at 16-14, and we had played really well on both sides of the ball. So we felt great coming out of halftime.
First row on the left.
Coach, this is for you and for Tough. how did you guys feel like you responded to those plays that didn't go your way? Of course, the targeting, of course, the DPI. How did you feel about how your team reacted to those negative plays?
Unbelievable. I'm so proud of the way our team responded like that. It didn't get us down. We kept fighting. We kept swinging all the way to the end. I couldn't be proud of the way we responded because those were hard to swallow.
Third row on the right.
Ryan, I think it was 4th and 4 from the 39 when you guys are driving there late and you tried to draw them off. Didn't work. Did you consider going for it? We've talked with you about being aggressive all year. That seemed like a spot where obviously it's risky to do it at that juncture of the game. I'm just wondering if you thought of it and then maybe why you didn't do it.
If it was a touchdown, but, it was a 2-point game at that point, and I felt like at the midfield, all they would need was a couple touchdowns, kick the field goal, and it wouldn't have made sense. So I thought the defense was playing good at the time, and I felt if we could pin them inside the 10-yard line, that would give us our defense a chance to get a stop, and then in a 4-minute drill, we could end the game. And I felt, I had confidence in the defense. I'd still make the same decision now.
Second row on the right.
Ryan, do you have an update on what JK's status was? He was in, then he was out, and he was in. It didn't look like he quite had the burst that he did, obviously, before the injury. And how much did that make you more one-dimensional?
Well, they made some good adjustments up front, and so we were throwing the ball a lot in the second half, and receivers and the protection and Justin, they made some big plays, but it was hard to run the ball. They were kind of coming at us different ways, and Venables does a good job. He made some good adjustments. But, yeah, he got an ankle there, and he had to fight through that. He got it taped up. He came in. He came out. He was really working through that. But I think it did affect his play a little bit. He didn't have that, like you said, explosion. A couple of those first runs in the first half, he came out the back end of those things. He looked powerful. But what a gritty performance by him to come back in the game and play.
We'll go to fourth row on the right, and then to the left, and then to Tim.
Ryan, right here. From the injuries, JK in and out, to the calls, to Sean Wade, have you ever been in a game this bizarre? And I'm curious, if you picture this being played 100 times in the last couple of weeks, could you ever foresee a game with that many twists and turns?
I just know when two great teams get together, it comes down to a few plays, and it did again tonight. But this was a very strange game. I thought our guys played really well. I thought we played well. Clemson, give them credit. They have a really good team, and the defending national champs. They do a great job. Lawrence came down and had a great drive to end the game, and they did a good job on defense. But again, I'm very, very disappointed that we weren't able to win this game.
Tim.
Yeah, Justin, you particular, how healthy were you tonight? You ran some when you had to, et cetera. And from your vantage point, take us through that last play, because you threw that ball with authority. You felt like you had the play there, it looked like. Just what were you think? What were your thoughts there?
Yeah, just like Coach Day said, it was a look we wanted. And then Chris, it was basically just miscommunication. So, that happens in life. And, you really can't do anything about it now, so just have to move on. And I also just want to thank the seniors on the team, and I really love those guys. So yeah, I'm just proud of the team and the way we responded out there, really. So yeah.
And how healthy were you tonight?
Yeah, I felt pretty good going into the game. There wasn't really any pain in my knee, but it was just the knee brace actually being there. So, but I felt pretty good going in.
First row on the left.
Ryan, when you guys got the penalty going after the punt, was that a call to go after that? And what were you hoping?
Well,
for
we were
there?
trying to be aggressive, and we thought we could get after the punt, and we've done a good job of staying off the punter and being aggressive, and we didn't dare. So that was a big play in the game as well.
And not to go over the same point again and again, but this is so important. Do you sit here sort of feeling like we should have won?
I don't want to answer that. That's hard for me to answer. I just again, I'm too close to the game right now, and like I said, proud, sad, but angry too.
And that's not even that's not about officials' calls. Just that you had a lead and you guys had some injury luck. Do you feel you played good enough to win?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it wasn't good enough in the end, but we were right there. It wasn't like we didn't. Our guys didn't play hard. Our guys didn't execute well. We didn't make big plays. We did all those things, and it just came up short in the end. But we were right there all the way to the end, and that's the way it goes.
Third row on the right.
Ryan, you talked earlier this week about not wanting the journey with this team to end. I You just went into a losing locker room for the first time as a head coach. I'm just wondering how much that was in your mind. I know there's a lot of things that happen that are frustrating, but are you able to, I don't know, I guess maybe appreciate's the wrong word, but reflect on the journey you guys did have to get to this point?
Yeah,
even
too
if this
close
isn't
to
the
it. There's just a lot of tears, a lot of disappointment, a lot of people angry in that locker room right now. Be honest, a lot of throwing helmets, a lot of just can't believe it's over. And so, what do you say to a bunch of guys like that other than that you love them, and that the older guys and seniors have left a legacy, and the younger guys have to learn from it. And we'll wake up in the morning, the sun will come up, and we'll regroup.
Last question with Tim.
Yeah, I've got one for Ryan and one for Tuff. Ryan, do you feel like settling, it may not be the right word, but settling for 3 field goals there in the first half when y'all clearly had the momentum? When you clearly had the momentum, how, as you look back on it now, obviously it's easy in retrospect, but how much of a killer was that in some respects?
Yeah, that was tough. No, if you score touchdowns there, then that's huge. And man, the one to JK that they called a touchdown first, and then they overturned. That was a tough one. That was 4 points there. And then the one to Austin in the back of the end zone, we just missed there. I mean, when you're playing against a good defense, things like that happen. And I thought we made some good calls. The one to KJ there, we had, and it just Justin got scrambled a little bit, so we were just a little bit off. And but
the screen too, the screen.
Oh my goodness, yeah, the screen. Yeah, so it was that game, that kind of game. And again, when you're playing against great teams, things like that happen.
Hey, Tuff, you weren't necessarily on the field for all these plays, but you guys had kind of put the big play bugaboo behind you this year and stuff, but they did hit some gash plays there. It was strange. What do you think kind of went wrong there from a concentration standpoint or whatever? And did Lawrence surprise you a little bit with his running tonight?
Well, I mean, give Clemson a lot of credit. They got a lot of good players. They made plays. And then not as far as Lawrence running, not really a huge surprise. We kind of saw that on film. Extending plays and being able to find open guys. So, credit to them.
Thank you. This concludes the Ohio State press conference. Thank you to Coach Day and Ohio State.